Adventures of the Teenie Weenies. Chapter 19, Something About a Bear. It was a warm, lazy sort of morning, and very few Teenie Weenies were to be seen about the rosebush. Grandpa sat fast asleep in his easy chair on the front porch of the shoe house. Go-Go was busily engaged, carving a sugar bowl out of a large cherry seed, while several of the little men hacked at the wood pile back of the kitchen. The policeman was telling a couple of sparrows how the dunce howled over his tooth being pulled when the lady of fashion touched him on the shoulder.
"I beg your pardon,"
she said.
"but do you know where the general is?"
"He's over at the tool house, Mom," answered the policeman, touching his hat.
"Is he busy?"
"I don't think so, Mom. He's just watching the old soldier and Paddy Pin, who are tanning a frog hide for shoe leather."
"Would you mind asking him to meet me in the library? I want to see him on a matter of great importance."
"With pleasure, Mom," answered the policeman, and touching his hat again, he set off, while the lady of fashion returned to the shoe house. "Well, my dear lady," said the general a few minutes later as he stepped into the Teenie Weenie library, where the lady of fashion sat waiting. "The policeman tells me that you want to speak with me."
"Yes, General. I have something important I want to talk to you about. I want you to do something for me. Something very nice. Will you?"
"Why, I don't know. What do you want?"
asked the head of the Teenie Weenies as he sat down in one of the tiny chairs.
"Well, while I was out walking yesterday with the doctor, we went into a house to get warm. And while we were there, we heard a little girl crying, as though her heart would break. The little girl had broken the wheel of her toy bear, and I wish you would get the boys to go over and fix it for her. She's a child who hasn't many toys."
"I don't see how we can spare the time just now, for we have 11 clothespins to split up into stove wood, but we'll do it anyhow,"
said the general, as he saw the tears gathering in the lady of fashion's eyes.
"Oh, thank you so much."
And the little lady kissed the general on top of his bald little head. That afternoon, the general and several of the Teenie Weenie men walked over to the house where the little girl lived and had a look at the broken toy. The bear was a big fellow, and one of the solid wooden wheels on which he moved about was broken in two.
"The axle is broken too,"
said the Turk, peering under the board on which the bear stood.
"We'll have to make some long bolts to hold the wheel together,"
announced the old soldier, who had been measuring the broken wheel with his tiny tape measure. After a great deal of talk and measuring, the little men hurried back to the shoe house, where they sat to work making the bolts and nuts necessary for mending the broken bear. The next morning, the Teenie Weenie workmen set off for the little girl's house, followed by a number of the little people who were curious to see the bear. As the little girl had been taken out for a walk, the coast was clear, and the little men started to work at once, while the rest wandered around, examining a doll's house and many other toys which stood about the room. The Teenie Weenies jacked up the bear, fitted in a lead pencil for an axle, bolted together the broken wheel, and in a short time, the little men had made the toy as good as new. When the little girl came back from her walk and found the mended toy, she was very happy, and she wondered many, many times just who had fixed the broken bear.